Today we'll talk about a German folklore about the fisherman and his wife. Once upon a time, there was a fisherman who lived with his wife in a small piss pot near the sea. Every single day he would set out to the sea to catch some fish, but he barely made enough for him and his wife to eat. One day he was out on his boat a little further into the sea, away from his usual spot, with his fishing line dropping deep into the water. He was lost in thought, gazing intently into the distance, when suddenly he felt a huge tug on his fishing line. When the fisherman reeled in his cord, he found a huge fish, a flounder, at the end of his line. To his utter shock and amazement, the fish began to talk. The fish pleaded with the fisherman to let him go. He said, "Please let me go. I beg of you to spare my life. I am not an ordinary fish. I'm actually an enchanted prince. I'm currently under a spell, and that is why I've taken this particular form. I'm of no use to you. I'm not even good to taste, so please let me go." The fisherman said, "Otherwise also I was going to let you go. Of what use is a talking fish to me?" Saying this, he released the fish into the sea, and the fish completely disappeared into the water. The fisherman went back to his home and told his wife about the talking fish. Upon hearing the story, the wife seemed very disappointed with the husband and said, "If it was an enchanted prince, then why didn't you ask for a wish to be granted?" Now the husband became confused. He said, "What kind of wish am I supposed to ask a fish?" Then she said, "Can't you see the dire poverty that we are living in? You should have asked the fish for a decent hut to live in." Now upon hearing this, the husband said, "I don't think this is the right thing to do." But upon the insistence of his wife, he went back to the sea. He went back to the very spot where he had caught the fish, and he called out to the fish. The fisherman said aloud, "Flounder, flounder in the sea, if you're a man, then speak to me. Though I don't agree with my wife's request, I've come to ask it nonetheless." The fish suddenly appeared and said, "Well, what does she want?" The fisherman said, "My wife wants to live in a decent hut." The fish said, "Go home. She has already got it." The fisherman went back home